Hey everybody, it's your old pal Russ, Lid Crayon here. And I realized the last couple of videos I've done were basically just box openings, and you know, I do actually have another box opening here, but I wanted to hit a couple of topics that have been on my mind before I do that. But of course, before I do that, I should get to some housekeeping, right? This here is a Cobb Missouri Meerschaum Great Dane in the egg-shaped bowl. And in it, I have what is actually in a can of Sutliff's Molto Dolce, but this is actually called the Secret Mix by our friend Elliot, None Ya Damn Business. And, well, I haven't talked with Elliot in quite some time, but I've had this can of tobacco probably almost 2 years now, pretty close to it. And it's definitely getting better with age. So I'm sitting outside enjoying that. Oh, I've got my golf tee tamper here. So I'm going to try and summarize my thoughts on these hot button issues very quickly. Because no one wants a super long video, not even me. I like to watch the shorter ones. Sometimes I get, a chance to watch the longer ones, but sometimes I don't. So anyway, here's my the three things I want to talk about. The first one is the South Carolina shooter and gun control. In summation, I believe we should all be allowed to have guns here in the United States. I own guns. I use guns. And I believe we should have them. But in that case, there are some gun controls, and I believe that there should be some control over guns. There should be background checks, and I would prefer that there be training for people who own firearms before they get a chance to use them. I'm all in favor of that. And I don't believe that our gun control system, the way it's set up, is working properly. And I hope it gets fixed, because things like that should never happen. And while I believe we all should be able to have guns, I'd be, remiss if I said anything different, because I'd certainly like to be able to have mine. But there has to be regulation, there have to be safeguards, and I'm all in favor of training. I think there should be, I hesitate to say mandatory training, but I would love to see training. At least highly suggested training, anyway, before anyone has firearms. But that being said, I believe everyone should then be able to have them. Rifles, assault rifles, guns, pistols, you name it, whatever. Just decent training and some common sense. That's it. Next thing is the Supreme Court decision that in its ultimate version allowed for gay marriage. Fantastic. Absolutely. I am glad that now same-sex couples are afforded the same protections that marriage allows as the heterosexual couples. That's a wonderful thing. I'm not actually sure that the decision really said anything about gay marriage, but that seems to be the upshot of the decision, and the only part of it that anyone's actually talking about. And of course, now, all of the state laws about gay marriage have been overturned and all that, and marriages are on the rise and everything, and now it's creating all sorts of controversy about religious rights to not have to make cakes for weddings. It's like, just, screw that. Just let the free market take care of that. There are more than enough bakeries in this world who will cater to the gay population. Don't be so concerned about having to, get your cake from a specific place because they don't want to make it. Just find someone who will. there's no reason to make a bigger issue out of an issue that's presumably already resolved itself. But I'm definitely on that side. I'm glad that those protections are now afforded. The only thing I'm disappointed about is that the same rights have not been granted to heterosexual couples who have disability issues. The way the laws work right now, if you are married already and one of your, you or your spouse becomes disabled, then you are still allowed protections and you're allowed to get disability. However, if you are trying to become married to someone with a disability, the law says that the income of both parties should be considered, and if that, is above some threshold, which is a very low threshold, by the way, then the disability of the disabled person is taken away. And to me, that's just as heinous as not allowing same-sex couples to marry. And, of course, this is an issue close to me because that's the problem I have. I'm not allowed to marry because my girlfriend is disabled, and if we were to get married, all of her disability would be taken away, and I can't support us both. So there are petitions out there, there's legislation on the books, or legislation that's being debated to allow people with disabilities to get married and afforded the same protections under marriage law that everyone else now has. So to me, this fight's not over. I think it's getting close and it's getting better, but I'm still affected by it, and I hope if there are petitions or if it comes up in your jurisdiction that you will fight for the rights of disabled people to get married as well, now that we've crossed a different hurdle. Not too shabby. There's something a little bitey in there. Maybe a little burly. A little heavy on the burly maybe, but overall, aging well. Okay, and the last thing is the flag of the South. The General Lee, the rebel flag, whatever you want to call it. The flag of the Confederacy. It's recently been taken down on government buildings, which I think is a good idea. Now, here's why. If you are from the South, which I am not, I believe you should have the right to fly your Confederate flag on your house, on your car, show your Southern pride, whatever the flag means to you. That's perfectly okay with me. However, in terms of the government, and in terms of the United States, and I've done my history, so I can quote sources if I need to, but I'm going to try and avoid all of that. But the original symbolism of the Confederate flag was for a secessionist society, what I would consider a treasonous society, and one that absolutely, without question, represented slavery. Now, that's back then, back in the 1860s, not today, necessarily. Some people may still view it that way, some people may not, but I believe people have the right to show whatever symbolism they choose to show. So if they want to personally fly a flag, that's fine. However, governments should not be, our government specifically, the United States government, should not be sanctioning the flying of a secessionist, traitorous symbol that represented slavery at the time. We can't ignore it. It's a part of our history. And there is no purpose whatsoever in trying to quell that symbol of our history. We can't forget the Civil War happened, that there was a North and a South, that there were bloody battles fought, and that thousands and, millions of people died over that war. That is not something we should forget. It should be in all the history books. But government buildings should not fly the Confederate flag. This is the United States of America. That's the flag that should be there, not side by side with the General Lee, et cetera, et cetera. If you want to watch, Dukes of Hazzard on on what the hell is that, TV Land. I think they're idiots for pulling it off. Come on, that was such a fun show. I've got them all on DVD. Great show. And yeah, so there's a Confederate flag on top of their car. Big whoopee, you know. Anyway, enough about that. I could get into the whole thing about, you know, Christian things on, you know, courthouse steps and the 10 Commandments and all that kind of stuff. But to me, it's all the same thing. It's like you either have to allow it all or don't allow any of it. And anyway, that's probably a topic for another video. But anyway, if you're flying the Confederate flag on your pickup truck, or if you're hanging it from the front window of your house, I'm all fine with that. Not on government buildings. So, better when the tobacco actually stays in the bowl, not coming through here. Anyway, so enough about that. Let's do a quick box opening. I got a surprise package today. This came from John Z, which many of you will know as the Northern Bohemian. This is something he said he was going to send me back at the... oh, stop it. Dogs. Back at the pipe show in Nashville. And apparently he just got around to sending it to me. So this is great. It showed up on my doorstep today. And I can't wait to see what's in it. So... I have a feeling that the pipe smokers among us, the solely pipe smokers among us, will probably just want to tune out now, because I have a feeling this is a box of cigars. So let's take a look, shall we? Oh, look, he's typical lawyer fashion. I've got a docket here. Oh my, look at this. This is an itemized list of everything that's in the box with descriptions, if you can believe that. This man is far, far too organized. So rather than do that, I'll just kind of pull out what's in the box here, because I'm not going to read all of this. So anyway, well, actually, look, there's some pipe tobacco in here. So let's do that first. All right, we've got some Ardennes Valley Pure Semois thick cut pipe tobacco right there. Let's smell this here. Ooh, that smells, it's really nice and sweet, and I wonder if there isn't some cigar leaf in there, because it almost smells like there is. That almost smells like a wrapper off a cigar. So that's very cool. Apparently that's from Belgium or something. We also have some McClelland, number 27 Virginia, right there. Kind of a shaggy cut there. Or maybe this looks like it's actually a flake that's been rubbed out. Oh, it's a nice sweet smelling Virginia. Excellent. We've got some Moe's Confetti, which is a burley blend, coarse cut burley blend from Four Noggins. Check that out. That's pretty mild, actually. Got to get right down in there to smell that. That'll be a nice, mild tasting smoke. And all day. Best smoked in a corn cob, it says. Well, gee, that's handy, isn't it? All right. And we also have Burley Virginia Latakia mix, coarse cut, called Bald Headed Teacher. You know, I had a few of those. And I think at least a couple of them smoked pipes. Of course, that was back in the day, you know, when that was a little more popular than it is now. And you can definitely smell the Latakia in there. But overall, that's got a nice smell to it. That's probably an afternoon smoker right there. Latakia for me is definitely a heavier kind of afternoony thing. All right, so, oh, look at all this stuff in here. We also have Two Daughters two-timer. I can't read any of the other information in there. I'm sure it's all on here. Yep, burley only, nothing complex, just burley. Light, doesn't bite, doesn't have a big nicotine hit. I've fallen in love with it. DNR two-timer. Yeah, again, super light, sweet Sweet burley, and I don't know if you can see this because of the way the light is, but I mean, it's just straight up burley. Yep. Can't wait to try that out. John is definitely the Northern Bohemian. Just look at that cob. Is really into his burley and his non-blended tobacco, just like straight up tobacco. He talks about it a lot, so that's very cool. So he also sent me a lot of cigars. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. There are 15 cigars in here. And, oh no, these, let me just read the list here, because I'm probably taking way too much time anyway. There's an Indian Tobacco Series A. There's a Rocky Patel Connecticut in Torpedo. This is right there. There's a Cinco Vegas Gold, which I have tried one of those before. There's a JR Ultimate Connecticut Rothschild. A Victor Sinclair Bohemian Bamboo. Ooh, that sounds interesting. I can't wait to find that one. A Nestor Plasencia Reserve Maduro in Rothschild. He likes the thin and long. He likes the Rothschilds. I don't have a lot of those. It's a good thing I have a new humidor to put these in. Aha. I don't have that here handy because it's inside seasoning, but you'll probably be seeing that in future videos. We also have a Frank Vincent in Rothschild, a Petrus Etiquette Rouge in Corona. So that would be the short one here. Well, a couple of short ones there. And we have an Overproduction in Churchill. Yeah, there's definitely a couple of Churchills in there, the big long ones. Let's see, what else do we have? Okay, we've got a Cuban Crafters Contraband, which is in this package. We have a Rushmore Silver from Cuban Crafters. We have a Tony Alvarez Connecticut, which is this one here, with no band on it. We have a JL Salazar from Cuban Crafters, and we have a Vega de Tabacalera Esteli, also from Cuban Crafters. You know, I usually do not enjoy a cigar long enough to smoke Churchills, but you know what, John? Because you sent these to me, I'm going to do each and every one of them. I don't know if I'll do a video on each and every one of them, but I'm definitely going to smoke every one of them. There's also a Don Quixote Churchill in here as well. So these apparently all came from Cuban Crafters, this package here. So this is incredible, John. I can't thank you enough, and these are going to go right into my humidor as soon as it's seasoned, which should be by tomorrow. And I will let those get some humidity, and then I will partake of them. So anyway, how long has this video been going? God, almost 18, yeah, over 18 minutes. Again, too long, these videos. No one wants to see my face for 18 minutes. Anyway, thanks guys. I'm going to go back to this. I'm going to a concert tonight. Going to ride my motorcycle down to Joplin, Missouri, see a show, hang out with some good old boys. Maybe even wave a Confederate flag or something. Who knows? Anyway, thanks a lot for watching. Good to talk to all of you again. And hope to hear from you all soon. Take care, my friends. Ciao. Okay, had to tack this on real quick. I got to looking at the letter that John sent me, and hopefully you're all paying attention, at least this far. But one thing I didn't look at when I saw this originally is that all of these cigars that he sent me are like limited production, out of production cigars, and they've been aged. All of the ones he sent me are aged from 6 to 9 years. So that is incredible. I can't believe that. I'm really looking forward to these. I mean, some of these you can't even buy anymore. So they're going to go in a special little spot in the new humidor. So I make sure to enjoy these with special drinks, some of my better scotches, and at better times, more exciting times than just daily smokers for sure. And down at the end here, he says, okay, that's it. I hope that's enough. This was in response to the fact that I gave him and some other folks up at the pipe show some of the local tobacco from just for him, which is my local shop. I brought it out with me. He asked me to get some, and I got some, and I brought it out with me. But you got to be kidding me if you think this is, you know, this is like so far beyond adequate compensation for what I gave you that I'm going to have to figure out what to give you in return, because what I did for you is nothing close to what you did for me. So that means there's more coming your way, and I have your address now. So keep your eye out. I'll think of something. Anyway, take care all. Catch you next time.